Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is November 5th, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see California, Oregon here, Hawaiian Islands to the bottom left of the screen, but check out this storm moving into the Pacific Northwest, and look at all the lightning associated with all this cold air aloft, and some of this is going to be moving down into California here over the next couple of days here. We are going to have thunderstorm threat and some heavy precipitation possible for some of the higher terrain, some snowfall for the Sierra Nevada, some gusty winds, and then we'll take a look at the extended forecast as always. The models continue to show interesting systems trying to drop down the west coast here, but they remain just a little bit too far out in the timeline for us to start to make plans for them or to start to hang our hats on them too much. So let's dive into that as we go through the video here today. Look at this, we're over 5,000 subscribers. Thanks to everybody. You guys make this channel possible. You guys make it fun to come here every day. So again, I appreciate you guys very much. And now taking a look here at this day in SoCal weather history. Look at this back in 1987. Look at this storm right off the coast of Southern California there. And you can see thunderstorms affected much of the area here in Death Valley. Had some roads washed out and stranded some people out there. So yeah, interesting stuff there. Even have the satellite imagery of it way back in 1987. So taking a look at the light rain through Monday here, but bigger amounts the further you go north, and even Sacramento over 0.2 of an inch to 1/2 inch of rain here as we go through Monday, and then even down towards Big Sur, maybe a little bit of rain coming, maybe Fresno also, and some of the models showing it a little bit further south here as well. So just, kind of keep that in the back of your mind here. Rain will continue off and on through late Monday. We'll look at the totals here in a moment. Chance of thunderstorms Sunday evening through Monday, Eureka, California. Check it out. You can see they even got the lightning strike here on their graphic here, but yeah, you could get some gusty winds with it as well. So when thunder roars, go indoors unless you are a storm chaser, of course. And looking at Reno, Nevada here, talking about the gusty winds with a few showers, some mountain snow out there, and you can kind of see a few light showers lingering here Tuesday as that storm system finally moves through, and then we turn our attention to the extended forecast. So here we go. Most likely time frame. This is Monday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and you can see just north of Sacramento, but you could be getting some activity a little bit further south in this as well, and across some of the higher terrain. You can get some really heavy rain here. Some of the high resolution models are showing some pretty big amounts across some of the higher terrain, Northern California, the coastal range here, and even through the Sierra Nevada also, and some very strong winds and even some snow for the higher peaks here. So it's going to be pretty raw out there. Keep that in the back of your mind if you are out going off into the backcountry there or crossing some of the passes. Now, taking a look at, if you guys want a nice affordable home weather station, this thing is really nice, and it's all solar powered, all wireless. It's got a nice smartphone app with it as well. So highly recommended. Click on that link down below to save 10% off. Now, looking at total precipitation in inches, you can see the state of California here. We're kind of targeting the northern 2/3 here as we go. But you can see as we go through the day today, you can see that precipitation starting. And watch this as we scroll on in through tomorrow. Some pretty heavy precipitation showing. Not as much for the valley area here, of course. The higher terrain is going to be targeted, but you can't rule out a thunderstorm here across some of the northern valley as well. But look at some of these amounts. I mean, you're talking about 2, 3, 4 inches across some of the higher terrain here with the storm rolling in. And some of this gets down towards the Bay Area and a little bit further south here as well. As you can see, some big amounts showing up here on the high resolution models. Now, looking at the European, this is lightning flash density potential. Put this into motion, and you can see this start to roll in as we go through tonight. Very late tonight into tomorrow morning, the coastal areas could be getting a few lightning strikes here, and then this starts to move in as we go through the day Monday here. Some of the valley and some of the Sierra Nevada could get a couple lightning strikes as well, and this continues on into Tuesday. Watch a little bit of a bounce back here as we go through Tuesday, destabilize the atmosphere through the afternoon hours a little bit there as well, maybe even down towards the Bay Area here. So heads up for that as we go through the next couple of days here, including Tuesday. Now, looking at total precipitation on the European, of course, not quite as a high resolution model as the NAM, but you can see this precip going on as we go through the day today, and then we go on in through tomorrow, and the big amounts start to show up across some of the northern Sierra Nevada here as well, Northern California, coastal areas, and it brings some interesting amounts just north of the Bay Area even here. Some areas getting up over 1/2 inch of rain showing up. Of course, lesser amounts across the valley here, but you can see this also sagging south down across some of central California here as well. Now, taking a look at the 10-meter max wind gust here in the NAM3KM, we put it into motion. You can see some of these strong winds continue on in through Monday here, especially across the ridge tops and the higher elevations here. So, yeah, and there's going to be some gusty winds with that thunderstorm activity that do roll through here. Nothing shouldn't be anything too crazy out there, but really the big story is anybody traveling across the passes there or the Sierra Nevadas, or if you're out in the backcountry there hiking around, heads up for those big winds and the snow potential, mainly above 7,000 feet. total snow Kuchera ratio here on the NAM 3KM. Put this into motion as well, and you can kind of see that snowfall flying as we go through the day tomorrow, and then we go into Tuesday morning and probably wrapping up by that point. But you can see some higher amounts showing up, although this, temperatures are kind of marginal for a lot of this area out here, so a lot of this is going to be melting as it falls here, but there will be some accumulation across the Sierra Nevada. Now, looking at what's going on here, this is 700 millibars, 10,000 feet. You got Washington, Oregon, California. There's the state of Hawaii down here, so you're looking at the Pacific Ocean, and you can clearly see this storm out over the Pacific, mainly moving into the Pacific Northwest, but then eventually into California as we go through the day tomorrow and Tuesday. And you can see that colder air loft arriving down across the region. That's what's going to be bringing us our cool down as we go through this upcoming week as well. So scrolling back and forth there, you can see that colder air loft arriving into the southwest. Now, this is at 18,000 feet here, 500 millibars, and this is the GFS here, last night's run. So there goes the system that's going to be impacting us for the next couple of days here through Tuesday, sagging south across the region, cooling us off. And then we look off into the future here. There's still some troughing across the west, but nothing too dramatic. But then, of course, just far enough out in the forecast here, the GFS wants to bring this interesting system at about hour 200. Again, it's been hinting at this off and on as this rolls across Southern California there. And then as we go further off into fantasy land here as well, you can see some additional deep troughing off the west coast of North America, but still nothing you can hang our hat on yet. There's a model disagreement between the European and the GFS, so we kind of wait and bide our time and just have to look at it day by day to kind of see which model is going to win out and when these models come into agreement, so we can start to actually plan for some of these systems here coming through the mid portion of November. Looking at the GFS, what would that bring? So anyway, let's look at what's coming first here. You can see that precipitation moving down across the Sierra Nevada, finally wrapping up as you go through the Tuesday night period here, and then we dry out for a bit. Next week system brushes by there, but then the interesting troughing here starts to come as another strong storm goes into the Pacific Northwest, and then this trough drops down across California. You can see this would be quite interesting, bringing some heavy precipitation all the way down through Southern California if this were to verify. But again, we're looking at almost 9-10 days out at this point, so we just have to kind of watch that day by day. And if we go way off into fantasy land, you can see again some additional systems kind of moving through California there as well. But way off into fantasy land, nothing to be worried about just yet. Looking at the national blend of models, you can see today you're looking at some upper 60s for the Northern Valley here, up down towards 80 degrees here for the Southern Valley. Desert areas fairly warm here, but you can see the gradual cool down coming as we go into Tuesday. Going to Wednesday, look at this. Some of the Arizona areas, maybe Phoenix, just towards 80 degrees here. The Valley of California here into the mid 60s. Southern California cooling off quite a bit. The desert areas, Las Vegas, even Death Valley, only into the lower 90s at that point. And we kind of remain cool here as we go towards the end of the week with that trough kind of hanging out there. But then you can see the bounce back start as we go through next week in a little bit here. But we're looking a little bit far out and we're getting caught up in those details. The main takeaway from this is the cool down coming up here as we go through the mid and later portion of this upcoming week. And this kind of shows it also. This is 2-meter temperature anomaly. So right now, a lot of the Southwest is above average. And as we scroll through last night's European run, you can clearly see that cooler air start to arrive and we drop things down below normal here as we go through the mid and later portion of the week upcoming. So you can see now versus what's coming here by the time we get out towards Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, taking a look at the 8 to 14-day temperature probability outlook, kind of equal chances here, maybe a little above average for some of the coastal areas in Northern California. Not too big of a deal there, but it continues to show this 8 to 14-day precipitation outlook here, and it kind of bullseyes California and Nevada and portions of Arizona with some above average precipitation potential here. And as always, with the forecast at this range, we kind of take it with a grain of salt here, but this goes through November 12th through the 18th there. So yeah, interesting system rolling in here, and this is going to equate to some thunderstorm activity across mainly the northern half of California. Pretty much Bay Area north is where we're expecting some of those lightning strikes there, and could be some heavy precipitation like we talked about across the higher terrain. So watch out if you're out in the backcountry there also, or you're driving back across the passes and whatnot for those gusty winds. So anyway, I may go out and chase some of this thunderstorm activity here. If I do, I'm gonna have to make my decision here pretty quickly here. I might drop down towards Portland or Clark County and Washington, maybe out towards the coastline here, as you can see all this lightning activity rolling into the Pacific Northwest here. So I may live stream on the other channel this morning. We'll see how that goes. I got to get my ducks in a line here at home. I do have to work tomorrow, so I need to be prepared for that. But anyway, yeah, I hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe. I will talk to you guys tomorrow at the latest, and I will see you then.